Andy, did you ever get a chance to listen to the episode of the Raw Attitude podcast you were on?
I did listen to part of it. I listened back just to kind of see how it sounded. I didn't get a chance to listen to the whole thing back, but from what I did listen to, it sounded pretty good.
All right, good, good. The audio quality was of a high enough standard for you?
Oh, yeah, it's fine.
Okay, good.
That is.
I don't want to besmirch your good name.
Oh, do not. No, never, never.
I enjoyed the ones that I was on, and Sal and I were talking about it earlier today.
Fantastic.
The Raw Attitude one you were on?
Yeah, fantastic.
There you go.
Yeah, fantastic.
I recorded episode 10 earlier, and that's probably going to be the last one for quite a while.
Do you have a job yet?
I do.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you.
Did you find a parking space for your car?
I did.
Your automobile?
The car should be delivered tomorrow, apparently.
Delivered?
It's a company car, so they have to, bring it to me.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That's one of them fancy jobs where they give you shit.
Apparently so.
It's a 1996 Toyota Camry.
Exactly. It's a 79 Ford Pinto. I'm wondering how bare minimum the features are going to be. I'm assuming I'm going to have the roll-down windows.
Wait, who's this blonde?
Wow.
That's Maurice.
Wait, no, is that Maurice?
That's Maurice. Ladies and
What's she
gentlemen, Andrew is watching Raw from last night.
Oh, sorry. You can't hear it, so we're good. Oh my God.
We'll talk about Raw tomorrow night.
Are we bringing Maurice back to the Divas? Because that'd be pretty awesome.
They're not divas anymore.
We'll
talk about they're not divas to the point where they actually deleted the divas section off the website, and now they're all listed under superstars. Which is awesome.
He's a champion.
In fairness, if you wanted to call Maurice a diva, I think you would be perfectly okay to do that.
I like Maurice.
Wow. Anyway.
I'm just hoping Michael Cole will go back to calling her Maurice like he used to.
Andy's gonna finish that match, and then we'll get rolling.
It's basically over. I'm gonna
241 part 1.
I'll finish watching the rest of Raw later. Or at least
I didn't realize we were live.
Because yes,
oh my God, we're live! Whoa!
We have been for a few minutes now.
Oh my God!
Because I was enjoying Andrew's reactions to the match that he was watching. So there was some talk about your company car, but that's all right.
Yeah, well, just ignore that. Ignore that non-kayfabe news.
Oh God, that's great.
They can give a raccoon a car. You don't have to drive it anywhere. You just
raccoon, don't worry. No one that listens watches the YouTube videos.
No, I said company can.
Yes. You work for BFI.
That is correct. I'm like the New Age Outlaws. I have a deal going with Dumpster, and I just I use their product every single week.
You started up that internet startup, that dumpster.com.
Indeed.
It's a singles website.
Oh,
I believe it.
You go on dumpster dates.
Why not? Share a banana peel and some buffalo wings? Let's do it.
Dumpsterdivingdates.com.
Oh, goodness gracious. Oh.
Sounds like it's about on par with farmersonly.com. No offense to anyone from Iowa, of course.
None taken.
Okay, good.
I don't grow corn.
He's the one person in the state.
I'm the one person who doesn't own a farm. It's kind of awkward. All these farms around me. Fucking cows getting into my backyard and shit.
Adam, I'm wondering, Adam, if you're prepared for the Raw Attitude podcast bump, since you were on there yesterday and we plugged the show heavily. So
I hope so. I hope so.
We'll see what happens.
Downloads will skyrocket.
We'll go from like 4 downloads on the rundown. To
we did. I did notice that when I logged back into the Rundown Podcast Twitter account to start live tweeting Raw, we had like 9 new followers. So.
Oh, see.
Well, it's WrestleMania.
I'm gonna say that's you.
That's the Raw Attitude
podcast.
Not
you. I'm gonna say that's Henry.
Oh no, it's me. I mean, it's Henry, but. Raccoon Reigns also tweeted out the link, so that's what I mean.
Raccoon Reigns has a Twitter?
He does.
How am I not following that?
Yeah, why am I not following that either?
Because it's a lie.
I know.
God damn it. let's get this
Yes.
show on the road. I would like to do other things tonight.
You
So
suckered me in.
it's good. It's good. I've got other things I got to do tonight. Let's get started.
All right. Everybody got Audacity up and running?
I do.
Oh, actually, I don't. Thank you for reminding me.
Oh, you dick.
Okay, it's open now. We're good. We're good.
Do you have all the settings correct? Do you want to test the settings to make sure?
You know what?
Yeah, make
let
sure
me
you get-
let me pee just in case.
Oh, God damn it.
Wait, what?
Make sure you got the right microphone set up there for your...
Let me pee just in case. All right.
just
Just
in case.
in the dumpster.
I don't know what in case, but...
Well, if you're doing it in the dumpster, you're just going to pee where you're standing right now, right? Or are you getting out of your trash can to go to a different receptacle to pee?
Different receptacle. You can't
I like
pee.
that you haven't left to actually pee yet. Like, it makes me wonder if you are taking us with you when you're peeing.
I'm on a headset where you're coming with me.
La 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 la.
Okay.
Wait for the flush noise.
Oh my, was that the flush sound? No, newfangled new age toilets.
No, the Hurricanes don't lead the Bruins 1-0 at the end of the second, you bastards. You bastard.
What did you just all say?
Hockey things. Hockey things.
Hockey doesn't matter. The Cubs won, though.
Red Sox won 2, and the Yankees lost, so huzzah.
Hey, and the Cards lost, so we are sitting high and mighty right now.
Yay!
This is great.
Yeah, I give you a month.
We're actually predicted to be the #1 team right now with potential for winning the World Series. So.
Well, good. I wish you luck with that because it's been a while.
Yeah, it has been a while. It's true. It's so true.
Who won the Wisconsin primary? He probably knows.
Oh, I have that open just in case.
He heard you, and I was yelling in my ear because he's so
I'm
excited.
keeping track of it. The results have not come in yet because the polls I don't think close until 8.
No results yet because it's still Central Time. So.
Fucking Central Time. Why can't you guys just
Hey,
do
hey,
our
hey,
time?
hey, hey, her leave Central Time out of this.
She can't actually hear you. So.
I know. Well, you tell her leave Central Time out of this.
He says, hey, 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 right? 5 hays? Hey,
Yeah, 5
leave Central Time out of this.
That smelled just like bologna for some reason. All right.
Oh, perfect timing.
Gross.
Perfect timing.
Oh, that's something that I won't ever get out of my brain. All right.
Oh, is my mic still on there? I'll just do a quick test to make sure we're good, and it looks like we are.
Make sure you got the right microphone selected in your Audacities there, because I don't want to have to do some bullshits off of this goddamn YouTube video.
But I'm good. I recorded a podcast. My friend Henry recorded a podcast earlier today, and
There's
he
so many
left the
levels to
settings.
you
It's
right
so
now.
nice.
Like,
It's so nice of Henry to let you use his computer.
We
very
share.
nice that you can keep track of all these personalities.
Yeah, exactly. I get good Wi-Fi in this dumpster.
Well, you're right next to a Staples, so.
That's true. That is true.
Are we ready, folks?
Andy is just itching to go.
No, I'm excited to
So-
get started. I'm glad this is the team I want to be on right now. For
Nice.
Yeah. Fuck those other guys?
No, not Troy. I like Troy.
Fuck Jason, but not Troy.
Hey, that's your words, not mine. Are you ready?
Oh boy.
Android. All right. So are we ready to go?
Yeah, let's do this.
RTG. Are we RTG?
We are RPGs. Let's do it.
Which was a kids show that I used to watch in like the early '90s. It was on
Was it
Channel
really?
7 at 6 o'clock in the morning.
You watched a kid show called Rocket Propelled Grenade?
No, RTG.
Oh, RTG.
Ready to- that's what it's called.
Rhinoceros tossing
Ready
salad.
to go.
Oh no, wait, SWTG. Tossing gators? I don't know. Anyway, let's go.
Shut the fuck up, all of you.
Yeah. Now my dancing's in like real time and not like staggered. Like it's great. I love it. Love this. Love this camera.
You guys are like trying to herd cats with ADD that are also drunk.
I haven't drank anything tonight. I just got home from my other job. I haven't had time to drink.
Well, get the fuck on it.
I'm gonna turn my gain back down.
Are we ready? Let's do this.
Was that up or down? That was down.
That's one
Okay.
or two.
All right.
1 or 2. All right.
This one,
Clearer
or this one, or this one.
or clear?
This one or this
All
one? People who don't wear glasses have no idea what the fuck we're talking about.
Okay, you're just as bad as they are.
241 Part 1.
Is this 241A?
Nope, because it's not a
Okay.
minisode. It's 241 Part 1.
All right.
Sub-episode alpha is for minisodes when there's only one host. That's a minisode. That's different.
Already.
This is a megasode that's being split into two pieces.
The mega powers are going to collide, brother.
So
Because
basically,
otherwise,
our episode is going to be up for a day, and then it's going to be superseded by the episode tomorrow.
It's
people
okay.
will listen to both.
If they put the names of the hosts, we'll have the more downloads.
Your Joyble is running.
Yeah, he does that.
Running. 241 Part 1.
Okay, sorry, go ahead.
In Herding Cats. 3, 2, 1, record. We ain't got time for jokes. This is WrestleMania. Play the theme song.
Ah!
No nonsense.
We came to play. There's a price to pay. We're going to get down on our knees and pray.
More
Currently on
sensical.
his 6th Intercontinental title reign. Sorry, go right ahead.
More sensical than WrestleMania 32. It's episode 241, part 1 of the Rundown. My name is Adam. I'm your host. It is Tuesday, April 5th, 2016. We have such a large slate of things that we need to talk about that we had to split this episode into 2 separate episodes. This is part 1.
Do you think that WrestleMania should have done that?
This is part 1. We'll talk about WrestleMania. We'll talk about Takeover. And then tomorrow night, part 2, we talk about the Raw After and other things.
The
With that
Raw
said,
Aftitude podcast.
Joining me for part 1 to talk about WrestleMania and Takeover Dallas, Andy is finally back on the show.
Hey, it has not been that long, but I'm back. I'm glad to be here, and I'm excited because it is WrestleMania season, baby, and it is time to talk about the granddaddy of them all, even though we're not supposed to call it that anymore.
No, it makes it sound old.
The showcase of the granddaddies.
You're also excited because you have a new camera.
I do, and if you watch it live, you could see me in all of my glorious movements. You could see what a real person moves like.
You can see me.
I'm the only one on this show who's not an age date. Also joining us for 241 Part 1, the man who's not really a man, but he is still a myth and a legend, Raccoon Reigns.
Great to be back. Great to be back.
Oh, he's got the bow tie on.
Of
I got the
course,
bow
it's
tie on.
WrestleMania.
So just to be clear, so you can actually see me now, right?
Yes.
Okay, because I just want to say then, because you can see me, welcome to my house, baby, take control now. We
There's
can't even slow down. We don't have to go out.
I don't think we can afford that.
Raccoon, I must warn you.
Mm.
I feel like there's something lingering or lurking behind you. It looks like an arm, and it might grab you at any moment.
Oh my goodness.
I just wanted to let you know. Like I thought I saw an arm, and your house might be haunted.
Oh my goodness.
Your
I guess
dumpster
when I was welcoming everyone into my house, I guess somebody took me up on that offer.
Is that the Liberty Bell?
That is the Liberty Bell, yes.
Okay, just making sure.
like the real Liberty Bell?
Yeah, somebody threw it out and I grabbed it.
Yeah, you guys got a couch in that dumpster? It's a big dumpster, is my point. What was I going to say? Oh, that song. Jesus Christ.
That'll be $100,000, please.
I have heard that song so many times in the during WrestleMania, and now I'm noticing it in like so many other fucking commercials.
What, you mean like 8 hours of that song wasn't enough? And like, they have to like want to give me more?
Jesus Christ.
Big fan of Flo Rida, are you?
No, not at all, actually.
I'm a big fan of his wife, Idaho.
I hate Florida.
Oh.
That's not racist. That's not racist, by the way. That's just the only other name I could think of that sounded like a state.
Oh man.
It just makes me laugh because it just reminds me of that Family Guy bit where they're watching that episode of whatever show that was.
Yeah.
My name is Florida.
Raccoon Reigns.
That's a state's name.
Raccoon Reigns, I owe you a pat on the back for that.
I see what you did there.
Ah.
I don't know if there are any other state names, but I'll ask around.
Yes. The puns are epic tonight.
Yay, yay.
So,
All right.
it's WrestleMania weekend, kind of still, maybe, I guess. Do you still consider this WrestleMania weekend?
It is for us. It's WrestleMania week for us because now we get to talk about it.
Did I tell you that I actually purchased the WrestleMania jersey? Yes. Yeah, very soon. Very soon I should have a new jersey. Hiya! Or were we done? Were we done? Did I go one too far? Okay.
I had hoped that we were done.
Okay, we're done. We're done.
All right. Okay. The first thing we need to talk about is the event that started the whole WrestleMania weekend thing, and that's NXT Takeover Dallas.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Which was, by all accounts,
shitty. No, just
the opposite of that. Fucking amazing. The only match that nobody cared about took place as an unaired dark match, and will air this week on NXT proper. That, of course, being Smiling Apollo Crews versus Elias Sampson. But all the important matches happened, and every one of them was great.
So wait, is that Elias Sampson guy the Drifter or whatever?
Yes.
Okay. And so he sings songs or something, or he has a guitar?
He does come out with a guitar, and he will play it occasionally. Does he sing? I don't pay enough attention to remember because I'm not fully on board with this character yet.
Here's a more important question: is the guitar dating Francesca? Are they an item behind the scenes?
It's a fair question.
I have not heard anything, but I will keep my ears out.
All right, it'll be a rundown exclusive when we find out.
Exactly.
My main beef with his name, though, is that when I think of a drifter, I don't think of somebody playing music. I think of somebody who, you give them a ride, they're a hitchhiker, and then they strangle you to death.
Or they live in a trash can?
Or that, yeah, well, that's a perfect comparison. I consider myself a bit of a drifter.
Were you born to walk alone?
You're damn right. Just like Batista.
Yeah. Do you walk for miles? Do you walk for miles in a pit of danger?
I think I could make it a mile and a half.
Okay.
But anyway, NXT Takeover Dallas. I got in late, and I saw most of the main event where Samoa Joe got busted wide the fuck open.
Yeah.
Oh, really? See, I missed the main event.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he was bleeding a lot.
Why are you shaking your head at me?
How do you watch everything but the main event?
Because I was tired and it was late. And no offense to Samoa Joe, I've never been a big Samoa Joe fan. And while the champion can be somewhat entertaining as far as like his gimmick, he's not that great of a wrestler in my opinion.
Ooh, shots fired.
Shots fired. Bring it on. Come after me, Devitt.
Shit burn. All right. Well, we opened with the tag team championship match. American Alpha defeating the Revival and becoming the new NXT Tag Team Champions, much to the applause and gratitude of the crowd.
Solid match.
Great match.
Yeah, it was really good. Good choice to open with a tag team title match. I really love both of those teams. I think both teams are
definitely
solid tag teams, and it was a really competitive, fast-paced, just good psychology. Everything about that match was good.
Yeah, and I mean, Jason Jordan and Chad Cable absolutely deserve a good run with the tag championships. They are a fantastic team. They're both great wrestlers. You could tell how there was such emotion when they won that I'm really looking forward to what they do with this and how where the tag titles go from here, because they are definitely deserving of the tag titles. Definitely, I'm going to say top of the heap in NXT, not just because they have the championships, but just because that's how good they are. So
the team that's basically Team Angle 2016 is American Alphabet?
Correct.
Okay, all right. Just making sure.
That's actually, I think I posted that on Twitter. One of my favorite chants was when they chant Gable to Kurt Angle's old theme song.
It was pretty fantastic. It was pretty fantastic.
Weren't the fans also chanting which one's Dash, which one's Dots?
Yes.
Oh.
Sal actually texted me about that, how much he was enjoying that chant. Yeah, because nobody knows which one's which. I right now could not tell you which one's which. So
that would be like
one of them's bald and one of them's not. That's all I know.
How has that not caught on for an Usos match? That's what I want to know.
Right.
I still don't know.
Nope, no clue. Austin Aries then defeated Baron Corbin. Of course, he did in his debut, in-ring debut with NXT. Again, surprised you haven't watched that match, Raccoon. Knowing how big of a fan of Austin Aries that you are.
Although I heard it wasn't that great of a match.
I enjoyed it. I mean,
yeah, that was pretty good. It was a good debut.
I don't think there was a bad match on the card, to be honest with you.
No, from what I saw, there wasn't. I mean, I'm just wondering now, like, who's going to be left in TNA at this point? Like, I feel like they could if they do the brand split, you could have an entire Raw roster, and SmackDown could be TNA. It really could, with the amount of talent they pulled from TNA at this point.
I'm sorry, are you saying TNA or NXT?
TNA.
Okay.
Yes, they pulled, like, if you think about it, you've got all these talent that came from TNA that are now in WWE. It's getting kind of ridiculous.
They still have a gentleman named Matt Hardy, I believe.
Ooh, big money there.
Big time.
Yeah.
And what's his name? What's the name of the guy who got whacked in the head and turned crazy?
R-Truth.
Eric Young. There we go.
No, Eric Young quit.
Oh, okay. Never mind that.
Eric Young and Bobby Roode signed their TNA contracts on the same day and quit on the same day. So
it was a one-day contract?
2 hours.
They'd been there for what, like 13 years or something like that? 14, something, some ridiculous amount of time.
Speaking of which, at TakeOver, the aforementioned Bobby Roode was shown at TakeOver in the stands.
We did see Bobby Roode. We also saw, and I'm probably going to fuck this name up, was it Kota Ibushi? Is that his name?
I think that's right.
Yeah, Let's say yes.
Yeah. A Japanese fella who's a hot free agent.
They're really scooping up the hot Japanese free agents lately.
Yeah, so they've probably both been signed. Then we have, I'm going to call match of the night, Shinsuke Nakamura debuting and defeating Sami Zayn in Sami's last match in NXT. The match went...
That's all I got to say.
Certainly also the longest match of the night, as it went 20 minutes. And was intense. I did get a little bored at one point when they were having that kind of back and forth forearm battle. I got a little tired of that, but other than that, the match was phenomenal.
Yeah, great match, competitive match. Probably one of, like you said, one of the most intense matches I've seen in a long time on a WWE event. They were just beating the shit out of each other, and
I was actually kind of talking with Sal about that. Sal had asked me if I'd ever actually seen Shinsuke wrestle, and I said that I hadn't, because I think I saw maybe one match of his in ROH at one point. And Sal was saying, if they let him go, not let him go, but let him wrestle the way that he wrestles, it'll be a hell of a thing to watch, and it was a hell of a thing to watch.
So that's basically his MO, is that he stiffs the shit out of people, right?
Right, he's the king of strong style, which is exactly that, stiffing the shit out of people.
Excellent.
But yeah, amazing match, and then we got they gave the Dallas crowd gave Sami a nice send off afterwards, and he got to have his kind of his curtain call, and it was really great.
And he got to triumphantly lose twice in one weekend.
Now, I don't know in those multi-man matches, especially when it's a ladder match like that, if you can really call it losing. You can.
Well, he didn't win. I mean.
Yeah, he's a loser.
Yeah, I think that's the definition of losing.
Straight up biatch.
Dicks.
Just words.
Then we have the women's championship. Asuka taking the title from Bayley. In another
somewhat of a surprise, right?
Great match. Yeah, I think I was listening back to last week's episode. I think both of us, Jason and I, both had trouble calling the match, but I think we both ended up going for Bayley. I was definitely surprised to see Bayley lose the championship. I was hoping that would mean maybe we'd see her Monday night on Raw.
I think a lot of people were.
Which did not happen, but we can talk about that tomorrow.
Wait, we're not talking about Raw tonight?
No.
Gotta try not to.
Oh, man.
Tomorrow night. But I'm sure, because tomorrow night we are going to end up talking a little bit about WrestleMania, so maybe we can slip it in a little bit.
Oh my!
Which is something that Raccoon's been looking for a while.
Yeah, I used to use that line in college.
Just the tap.
Next.
But so we're not even going to talk about the women's title match.
It was all right. I like Asuka. I think her winning the title made a lot of sense to me. I actually, going into the event, thought that Asuka was going to win, and I assumed that this would be the moment where Bayley would move up to the main roster. So maybe she's not quite ready for it yet. They don't know exactly how to get her involved. Maybe they want to wait a little bit to Fastlane or whatever. No, it's not Fastlane. Whatever the next one is that comes after WrestleMania to maybe debut her or something. But
they moved them around, so I don't know if it's Extreme Rules or not.
Maybe it's Extreme Rules. I don't know. But either way, it was a good match. It was a good match. I enjoyed it. It was not the best women's match of the WrestleMania weekend, but it was still a pretty good match.
Agreed.
Give you that.
I'm a big fan of Asuka because she reminds me of a friend of mine, a really good friend of mine, fellow trash can dweller, Asuka the Grouch. So big thumbs up. Big thumbs up.
Oh, it's great. You've killed Adam.
And rightfully so. We killed Frodo one time when he used to host. So
Rest in peace, Frodo. Can we have a moment of silence for Frodo on this WrestleMania?
All right, give it up.
No.
Poor Frodo.
I think you just lost another listener.
Oh, Frodo, I love you. You're the man. You should send us a voicemail of you laughing, and that way we'll at least know that you're alive.
Yes, please. Come on the Raw Attitude podcast sometime.
There you go. You keep Henry Hugepex up until like 3 a.m. or whatever.
Yeah, right.
And then we had the NXT Championship match, which Andy for some reason did not watch. Finn Balor retains the championship against Samoa Joe.
Because someone had to keep their title.
Also somewhat of a surprise, I think, right?
Yeah. Agreed there. Especially because as we had discussed last week, they had already done Samoa Joe versus Finn Balor, and Samoa Joe lost that one too. So the thought that we had was if they're going to do it again, they should probably change the outcome. But
he's a TNA guy. Look what happened to Christian when he came back. Nothing really happened there.
Fair point. But things are working out because AJ Styles came over from TNA and then he lost. Exactly. But he's going to go up against Roman Reigns and then he's going to, lose, I guess. But anyway. So pretty good match, somewhat marred by the fact that they had to keep stopping it because of all the blood.
Mm-hmm.
That part wasn't great, but what I saw of it, I quite enjoyed. I enjoyed the "fuck PG" chants from the crowd when they were getting frustrated at all the blood stoppages.
Yeah, I had actually heard something saying that was not WWE policy, but actually legalities being in the state of Texas, that as soon in any kind of sporting event, as soon as there is blood, it needs to be the blood flow needs to be ceased as quickly as possible, and that's why they had to keep stopping because that's a law, and you can't break the law.
Yeah, you don't want to do that. Them Texas people all probably have guns in the crowd. They'll shoot you.
Well, here's my question: what if Brock Lesnar had bled in his match with Dean Ambrose, rather, and they tried to intervene? Do you think Brock would have just beaten the living shit out of that doctor?
Yeah, I think so.
I think so too. So I'm saying there are exceptions. They could have let it go, but oh well.
Let it flow, let it flow.
There you go.
Wow. All right, so overall, I know this is going to be difficult for both of you since neither of you watched the entire show.
Correct.
But overall, I think it was a great event. Definitely the highlight of WrestleMania weekend. The standout show, as I think as many expected it to be, because whenever they do these takeover events, especially when they sync them up with high-profile WWE pay-per-views, somehow the takeover event always seems to be better than the pay-per-view it's preceding.
Well, it's called Takeover. So.
Yeah. So definitely a great show. I recommend anyone who hasn't seen it to go back on the network and watch. Like I said, all the matches. I would not call any of those matches bad matches. It's one of those where you really can't pick a worst match on the card because they were all fantastic. So,
just like WrestleMania.
Well, maybe not so much. WrestleMania 32.
Yeah.
Not WrestleMania 32, just WrestleMania.
The 6 hour and 53-minute shit show.
Not nearly enough.
Oh, God.
24 hours. 24 hours.
Yes. Don't give them ideas.
They'll do it.
To quote Wikipedia, WrestleMania 32 received mixed to negative reviews from critics who criticized the event for its length and questionable booking decisions.
Well, as someone who has been criticized for his length in the past, I will just say...
And your poor booking decisions?
Yes. For both of those. I will just say it wasn't that bad.
I'm not going to call it the worst. I'm not going to call it the worst WrestleMania of all time.
No.
I am going to put it very low on the list, though. Maybe a bottom 5 or a bottom 10. But
bottom 10, maybe bottom 5. They've had some really shit WrestleManias in the past. So, I mean, just the first 4 were pretty garbage.
I'm gonna have to agree mostly with
apparently,
Sean. I don't think
if you go on the network and watch the on-demand replay of WrestleMania 32, they have already dubbed in cheers for the results to the main event.
Have they really?
Yep.
Oh,
okay, so we started in the 5 o'clock hour with Kalisto versus Ryback for the United States Championship.
Sure. Good to know that they buried that match when there was probably like a fourth of the people in the building at the time.
Yeah, that was kind of funny.
There were apparently, and I know someone who was at Dallas for WrestleMania weekend and was complaining about the issues that they were having getting into the thing. Apparently, there was an issue with the stadium's Wi-Fi, so the ticket scanners weren't working properly, and they weren't able to let people into the building.
Of course.
In any kind of quick and organized manner. And so that led to a lot of bottlenecks and everybody getting pissed off.
Mm-hmm.
Little did they know that was only the first part that would piss them off.
I need to get in the stadium. I gotta see fucking Kalisto versus Ryback, man.
Yeah.
Said no one ever.
Yeah.
So we start with questionable, as we've discussed, questionable booking. In that Kalisto defeated Ryback via pinfall.
Better than a Ryback U.S. title reign.
Yeah, why is that questionable? They're trying to build Kalisto up to be a decent champion. They have a lot of faith in this guy. Why would that be questionable? I don't understand that.
I consider it questionable because of how they were building Ryback going into the match.
See, I didn't see the stuff leading up, so.
Ryback's whole deal was that he had turned heel and was now championing. I'm a big fucking guy. I'm a big, strong fucking guy. You're a little fucking shit. You're a little shrimp, little tiny little bastard. And so the big guy is going to destroy the little guy.
That's all the more reason for Kalisto to win, though, because then if Ryback wins, it's like, hey, I told you I was going to win because I'm a jacked up roid freak, and I won, so there.
Right, exactly. It's David and Goliath. It's any Rey Mysterio build-up, you know?
Let's not talk about Rey Mysterio.
Bullies rule.
What are you doing? Pick up your bag. Take a shit in it. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Then
That's stupid.
Weren't you the guy that killed a guy?
Sorry.
So now he's a racist bully?
Yeah, well, duh. I mean, come on.
Well, he does look pretty similar to Mysterio, so I think that does make sense.
All right. Then, in the 6 o'clock hour, the 10 Diva Tag Team match that for some reason lasted 11 and a half minutes.
Yeah.
Nobody gives a shit about.
That wasn't great.
That was just Brie Bella's send-off.
Yeah, that's kind of nice, I guess. Or not.
We were talking about that match, and when we were watching WrestleMania, we were kind of upset that, you know, Brie Bella, her final match, she doesn't lose. Which, like, that tradition doesn't seem to happen anymore, you know, like going out on your back, which I'm sure Brie is really good at. But, you know, it seems strange to me that, I don't know, I mean, are we in an era now where that tradition doesn't make any sense, that if they're a fan favorite, we should let them win their last match?
I don't know if it was applicable in this situation because it was A, a 10 Diva tag match, B, on the kickoff show, C, nobody gave a shit about it. So, I don't know.
I will say... it probably depends on the circumstance, I guess, because the Divas division, aside from the top 3 who were in that match, are not very strong. So I think it's fine to have Brie win and I guess potentially go out quote unquote on top, even though nothing has even been announced yet, as far as I know.
Right.
Do we know for sure she's officially hanging them up?
She is, and I was actually going to talk about this tomorrow night because it kind of relates to Raw, but we can talk about this tonight. Let me scroll down on my notes here.
Are we going to get a half-hour retirement speech from her as well?
No, that's the best part.
Good Lord.
WWE did not acknowledge Brie Bella's retirement at WrestleMania or Raw because the decision was made to make that a story on Total Divas.
Oh, okay.
That story will play out on the next season of the show.
Wait.
8 months from now.
Next
There is
season, I
one.
swear to God, they were done with it. I thought this was it.
I thought so too. The ratings have been going down, but
Unfortunately, not.
well, as for the actual match itself, a couple things that just stuck out for me. Number one, Eva Marie did not seem to fuck anything up too terribly.
True.
Number two, neither did Lana, except for one moment where she was I think she was in the ring too quickly and kind of had to stand around for a second. But nothing too objectionable that I noticed, I guess. So.
That outfit from Natty Neidhart, though, my God, what the hell is she wearing?
I almost completely forgot about Sal's voicemail. Let's go to Sal's voicemail about
Oh,
Takeover.
no.
Oh.
I thought we were going to make this, not a 3-hour show.
Is this going to be about
Remember, we're on Google Voice now, so the cutoff is 3 minutes.
3 minutes?
Oh, good. Good. Now, is he going to talk about Raw? Because we don't want to talk about Raw.
No, that way I have 4 messages from him.
Of
Oh,
course
nice.
you do.
Two are for tonight, 2 are for tomorrow.
For the record, this is the only wrestling podcast that comes in with a built-in 3-minute warning. So
So this is before we moved into Takeover. We moved into WrestleMania before. So this is his message about Takeover.
All right.
okay.
I was so concerned with the voicemail cutting me off, I forgot to talk about Takeover. I thought Takeover was
This is a
great.
continued voicemail?
And
Yeah, part 1 was WrestleMania.
Takeover,
Okay,
very
okay.
predictable, but showing WrestleMania that predictability is not a bad thing. American Alpha, awesome. Thought they had a great match. Glad they had the tag team champs. Showed a lot of emotion at the end. Baron Corbin versus Austin Aries, decent. Happy Aries won. Now we know why. Baron Corbin wins the Battle Royal come WrestleMania. Good for him.
Spoiler.
About time that a young guy, somebody new, gets the winner of the Battle Royal. I know Cesaro did it, but they did nothing with it. So we'll see where Corbin goes. Nakamura was phenomenal from his entrance.
Wait a minute. Pause the voicemail. Pause the voicemail.
Thank you, Sammy Chance, at the end.
I just realized that Baron Corbin won in Dallas. That means this was Corbin Dallas, the main character from The Fifth Element. Remember? Anybody remember that movie?
Yeah.
Multipass.
And you better
Big bada boom.
Adam, you could start his voicemail again.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Bell to bell, phenomenal, exceeded expectations. As did Balor and Joe. I'm very happy that they had a knockout drag-out fight. I was a little bit surprised with Asuka and Bayley, how that match went. Not necessarily the finish, but I was surprised with the flow of the match. It seemed like Bayley really was taking it to Asuka, and then, she kind of got Bret Harted when, a la Survivor Series 93, when she got put in the chicken wing and just ended up passing out. So,
Freeze
I don't
those
know,
knees, my
how the
chickadees.
fans took that. They just saw their hero pass out. But Asuka's a face too. But all in all, I give Takeover an A-, minus for the chainsaw during Finn Balor's entrance. And other than that, I will talk to you guys another time about Monday Night Raw this week. Peace.
Oh, the Stones were inside the giant blue opera singer.
Will you stop? I like that the chainsaw is why it gets an A-.
There was a lot of chainsaw action this weekend, apparently. Incorporated into not one,
There was
but
a
two
lot of
shows.
There was a lot of chainsaw action, and yet there was no chainsaw action.
Fair point. Did you want to see someone get a limb hacked off?
Yes.
Kind of.
Fair enough.
All right. Back to WrestleMania.
So that covers the pre-show.
Yay. No, it doesn't actually, because we still have Usos versus Dudleys.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that one.
Decent for what it was.
Yeah.
The crowd didn't really seem to enjoy the spot after the match where the Usos put the Dudleys through the tables
No.
with the double Samoan splash, as Mauro Ranallo called it, because
Yeah.
he can't say Superfly anymore.
Oh, I didn't even think of that.
So are the Dudleys heels again?
Yes, they have been for about a month and a half now, 2 months
Okay,
now.
again, I don't watch the product, so all right.
I'm actually surprised at how quickly the Dudleys have squandered that goodwill since they returned, because now nobody seems to give a shit about them.
That's because they were so poorly booked when they returned. They were supposed to win the tag titles like 3 times, and they never did.
Oh, interesting. And also it probably doesn't help that the way they're booking them now is, you like tables? We're never going to use tables anymore.
Go fuck yourself.
Right.
All right.
Oh,
So-
you missed something from the pre-show.
Oh.
Lita's unveiling of the WWE
Oh.
Women's title. I want to talk about what you guys think about that
We
title.
do need to talk about this.
I like the look of it.
I love it.
I enjoy it greatly, and they do have to answer a question that was posted either in the group text or somewhere. They are doing, just like with the World Heavyweight Championship, they are doing customized side plates for the women's champion.
Nice.
I saw the YouTube video of them putting Charlotte's plates in. They actually look really cool. And so I love the belt. I think it looks fantastic. The white strap with the red background behind the WWE logo in the center, I think looks great. It's kind of reminiscent of the old belt that Alundra Blaze threw in the garbage with the white and red.
Yeah.
I approve. I approve wholeheartedly. Not just because we are getting rid of the Tramps Championship, but because finally they are admitting that, hey, your women are superstars too.
Yeah, and not just that, but to the level of we're going to fashion this belt to look almost exactly like the World Heavyweight Championship. That puts them on an equal playing ground.
Yeah,
the
it's
women are
great.
just as important as the men.
Big fan. Big fan of this.
Well, I think if they really want to earn that, then they should go out in WrestleMania and have a better match than all the men. Oh, wait, they did that. Okay, never
They
mind.
did. It was the match of the night, honestly.
Yeah.
But yeah, well, first of all, what is actually on Charlotte's side plates?
They, as you're looking at the belt from the front, the left one says Charlotte. It has her name, and then the right one was like an eye with mascara on it. It was the right one was a little weird, but I do like Andy said, the fact that it is now equivalent to the men's title. It's fantastic. So good on you, WWE. Great choice for the new belt. And very, very happy to be done with the Divas Championship.
Yeah, calling it the Women's Championship is an improvement too. Because wasn't it before when they had the 2 women's titles, one was the Women's Championship and one was the Divas?
Yes.
And then they just kept the Divas?
During the brand split, they introduced the if you remember back when they started the brand split, the WWE Championship.
No, you're right. It was bland. You're right.
The brand split. Well, the WWE Championship and Women's Championship floated between both shows, and then at some point, Brock Lesnar claimed the world.
The Women's Champion. Brock Lesnar took the Women's Championship.
Brock Lesnar claimed the WWE Championship for SmackDown. That's why we got the World Heavyweight Championship back. And at some point, the Women's Championship became exclusive to Raw, and so they introduced the Divas Championship on SmackDown to have a Women's Championship on SmackDown. And then when the brand split was coming to its end, they united the belts and destroyed the Women's Championship.
Unity!
So goodbye, Butterfly. Go fuck yourself.
Mm.
Welcome back,
now
WWE Women's
floated away.
Championship.
Fair enough.
And I will never not call it the Tramps Championship from now on because I just enjoy that nickname that I came up with. So
They're also renaming the show Total Women as well, in case you didn't know that.
twaddle D-bags.
Total Women. It's a sequel to Little Women.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, moving on to the show itself. We open with the ladder match for the WWE Intercontinental Championship.
Fuck yeah, we did.
Yeah. It started... WrestleMania 32 started off so well.
It did. Although,
And then
I questioned the winner, but it was a good match.
It all went downhill from there until we hit a little bump with the women's title and then just into the dumpster. Not your dumpster.
Are you taking a shot at me saying into the dumpster?
Because your dumpster is much fancier than the dumpster that WrestleMania 32 ended up in. You've got a couch, for God's sakes.
That's true.
And the Liberty Bell. So, Yeah, so Zack Ryder, Dolph Ziggler, Sami Zayn, Sin Cara, Stardust, The Miz, and Kevin Owens. I did say last week that Zack Ryder was my sentimental pick, but I figured it would be Sami Zayn. Should have gone with my sentimental pick because Zack Ryder came out on top and won the WWE Intercontinental Championship. Finally got his WrestleMania moment. I had goosebumps. It was amazing. And then they ruined it, but we'll talk about that tomorrow.
Let me ask you a question. What's the 25th letter of the alphabet?
I believe that would be Y.
Exactly. Why? Why give this to Zack Ryder? What was the point? I mean, he hasn't even been really on TV at all. I mean, they put him on TV. You know, well.
It's just that they built him up from what I did see of the build up, which wasn't much. They built him up as the sentimental choice. He's never had a WrestleMania moment, unlike some of the other people that are on the card.
He's never actually had his theme song played at WrestleMania.
Right. So give him this one thing, and I'm interested to see, like you said earlier, before we start recording, Adam, what they do with this on SmackDown now. Hopefully they'll come up with something creative.
I'm very mad, but again, we'll talk about that tomorrow.
Right.
It'll depend on what happens on SmackDown as to how mad I stay. But yeah.
You check the spoilers. They're probably doing them right now.
Probably are.
Because I try not to do that. Because prior to this, Zack Ryder's WrestleMania moment was being kicked in the balls by Eve Torres.
After taking a pinfall.
After the dumbest... No, it led to the pinfall. After the dumbest storyline ever.
Well, check your record. I think she also kicked him in the balls after the match as well.
Oh, okay, maybe.
But yes, yeah, I don't know. I mean, but why did Zack Ryder? Plenty of guys have had crappy showings at WrestleMania. Why did Zack Ryder need to have the win? Sin Cara's been on the roster for several years too. You could have given it to him. Huge sentimental favorite. Who doesn't love Sin Cara?
Yeah, not me for one. I mean, that's
everybody.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is Zack Ryder is so over still, even though he's never on TV, and when he is on TV, he loses. He's still so over with the crowd, and like we've been talking about with that video that they posted backstage when he found out he was going to be in WrestleMania, that he is just so dedicated to the sport, even though he is not in a good position with the company basically, and has been when he is used terribly.
Right.
Now there are, like we've talked about, there are rumors that they have plans for him now. That there is something for him that they're going to start doing. They're going to give him a storyline and actually maybe give him a little bit of a push. I think the Intercontinental Championship was the start of that. I'm again anxiously looking forward to see if that is true and to see what happens with Zack Ryder in the coming months, and hopefully it will be something decent, something respectful, and not involve Kane.
And not his dad getting slapped in the face.
Yeah.
Also, when they told Zack Ryder he was going to be on WrestleMania, did he say, "Are you serious, bro?"
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. More than likely.
When was the storyline with Kane, by the way? Was that 4 years ago? Because that's the last time I legitimately remember Ryder having like a major storyline.
I think so. I think
garbage.
What's her name was even.
Yeah, how long has Eve Torres been gone?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
My pick for this match was Dolph Ziggler. I thought that this was finally his time to maybe get pushed back up. That I did see a Raw where there was a segment with him and Triple H, him getting in the face of Triple H in a way, and hoping that this would be maybe the push that would kind of put him back to where he should be, deserves to be.
Here's my question that has yet to be answered. But wasn't that match between him and Triple H on Raw supposed to determine whether or not he would be at WrestleMania?
I don't think so.
Yeah, but I assume some bullshit happened that made him be able to be there.
No, it was basically.
Because I understood the match as if you win, you get to pick your match at WrestleMania. If you lose, you don't get to be at WrestleMania. But it was just if you win, you get to pick your match.
Maybe.
I thought it was just Dolph Ziggler coming out and saying, "No matter what you throw at me, I'm going to keep coming at you and blah blah blah." So Stephanie was just like, "Tonight you're fighting Triple H," and that was it. And they just had a match. Could be wrong, but that's what I thought it was.
I have breaking news. Adam, for your wife. 1% in Wisconsin, and Bernie is already the projected winner. So there you go.
Well, there you go.
And Ted Cruz apparently they're not even going to bother actually counting votes. It seems like 1% and 2% in. Anyway, sorry.
Justin, not thank you for that. Completely unrelated to this show.
Well, no, your wife wanted to know, so you could pass it along.
That's important news that two people who will not become president are going to win some primaries.
Yeah.
No offense to any of the listeners, but at this point it seems pretty unlikely.
Show is not about politics. Shut the fuck up.
Sure it is. We've got a presidential candidate in the Hall of Fame.
That's true.
Oh, we didn't even talk about the Hall of Fame.
We can talk about the Hall of Fame.
Oh, yeah.
We can talk about that after WrestleMania.
Okay.
Oh, God. You just made me mad. Okay, so Zack Ryder wins the Intercontinental Championship. I get goosebumps. It's amazing. And then everything goes to shit.
Should have been Sami Zayn. All right. Moving on.
Chris Jericho, for no reason whatsoever, defeats AJ Styles in a fairly boring match.
I thought it was okay. I didn't mind it.
The match was not bad.
Yeah.
I can't get into it because they've already done this 3 times.
You know, back in the day, they used to have these things happen over and over again, you know, where you would have actual heated competition between 2 people to see who the best person is. And if done right, I think it could work. And I think this has been done fairly well.
Yeah.
Compared to, it's not like Triple H versus The Rock. Again.
Even those I didn't mind. I remember actually when Rock and Mankind headlined a bunch of pay-per-views in a row, and I would have kept watching more. I was enjoying them. Or actually, I'll even give you a more modern example. A couple of years ago when Christian and Randy Orton had their feud going, that they headlined quite a few pay-per-views consecutively against each other, and they were good matches. You know, I mean, granted, you know, Christian ended up kind of looking like a little bitch because he won the title by getting kicked in the dick, but still, they were having good matches. So I was totally fine with this. But of course, AJ Styles is once again in the Sting role of being the guy at WrestleMania who was not made by the WWE, so he has to lose to an established WWE guy.
Exactly, and you know, Chris Jericho, who was kind of not made by WWE.
Yeah, he was. I would say he was pretty much made by WWE. He made a name for himself in WCW, but he took it to that next level in WWE.
I would agree.
But hasn't Chris Jericho's job as of late been guy who loses at WrestleMania to put over new talent in the company?
Yeah, but throw him a bone once in a while. It sounds like look. I haven't seen what the main event of Raw, like how that turned out, but he's kind of been floating around there as the potential main event guy. And if you think about it, even though AJ Styles lost, he was in the main event on Raw that you'll talk about tomorrow, fighting for a number 1 contendership. So that feud pushed both of them. Just his having that feud with Chris pushed him right immediately to the main event.
Yeah.
Wow. Kind of.
Can't argue it.
The way that they set up the match on Raw doesn't lend credence to that, but. Anyway, we'll talk about
it. Also, Jericho lost to Fandango a couple years ago, so maybe they looked at that and said, nah, you know what? We have to put him over.
Exactly. Throw him a bone. Throw him a bone.
I still say there was no reason for AJ Styles to lose that match.
I agree. It didn't seem to make much sense, but then again, that seemed to be a pattern on this night.
Yes, it did.
On this day, I don't see clearly.
No. We then had the.
Got that?
We then had the 4-on-3 Tag Team Championship Handicap match, which was neither a handicap match nor for the WWE Tag Team Championship.
Indeed. It was amazing intro, though.
As it was announced during the introductions of the match that this was now a 6-man tag, and Wade Barrett was just accompanying the League of Nations to ringside.
A 6-man tag, not for the titles. Yeah, it was kind of strange. I feel like what they did here was they said to Wade Barrett, like, "Hey Barrett, you still gonna leave the company in June? Yeah, okay. Now it's 3-on-3. You're not in the match anymore."
Yeah, you don't get your WrestleMania moment. And it's a petty decision.
And then on Raw, we'll shit on you a little bit more, but we'll get to that.
Exactly, and that'll probably be his. I'm guessing that appearance, what happened on Raw, might be his last appearance for the company, and they just keep him off TV the rest of the time.
I don't think so.
I
don't think so, based on a Fallout video that they posted of him backstage.
Okay.
But we can talk about that tomorrow.
But I feel like they probably won't use him very much in the next 3 months.
Yeah. Anyway, so the League of Nations win, but it doesn't make a goddamn lick of difference because the match doesn't mean anything now.
Sure it did. It made all the difference because it set up
An awesome moment.
WrestleMania moment.
It did.
Ugh.
You didn't like that?
My father was out there. Shawn Michaels, my father.
Okay.
I had no idea that
I
he was your
don't-
son.
Yes,
So
he's my father.
does that mean Sonny is your mother?
I think so.
I just don't. There's a few things that I don't understand, and this has been happening for the past few years. I don't understand why or when WrestleMania became more about, hey, which legends can we get for surprise appearance? Than, hey, which current roster superstars can we actually put over?
Well, they did put over the league,
Yeah.
and then the league put over a bunch of 50-somethings.
Yeah.
We saw Sweet Chin Music and a stunner. That's all that matters.
Mr. Sacco.
Yeah. Puppets.
I don't.
Right? Am I right, Raccoon? Puppets?
Oh, yeah. I don't know what a puppet is, but yes, I agree.
I just don't understand. I just don't understand this obsession with, especially during WrestleMania. Kind of only during WrestleMania, of having these guys who aren't even part-timers, these legends, old retired legends, come back and beat the shit out of current roster superstars.
Well, it was Texas, and you had two Texas guys, two Texas legends. Besides, when was the last time you actually saw Steve Austin give a stunner?
I thought the way they did it last year, with or was it 30, whichever one with Hogan and The Rock and Austin.
That was 2 years ago, yeah.
2 years ago, WrestleMania 30. I thought that was fantastic, because it was still a surprise, and it was still great to see the legends, and it was just the legends, just rapping with each other.
It was definitely a surprise that Hogan didn't know what arena he was in, but
Nobody had to take a leg drop. Nobody had to take a rock bottom. Nobody had to get defeated in 6 seconds. We'll get to that. Nobody. It was great, because yes, you got to see three awesome legends in the ring at WrestleMania. Nobody knew they were going to be, well, even who Hulk Hogan was going to be there, but nobody knew The Rock was going to be there. Nobody knew Steve Austin was going to be there. It was a great surprise. Everybody cheered. Everybody got happy. Everybody got to mark out. And then they left, and then the matches happened.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Well, I liked it. So there.
Yeah, eat that. My dad was there, and I got to take pictures of him. Be like, "There's my dad."
I'm so confused by that.
Oh, you didn't know?
I don't know what you're talking about. Your rear end had better pick up the telephone. That's a callback to another podcast that I was on.
Was it the Raw Attitude podcast?
It was, in fact, the Raw Attitude podcast.
Yeah, it's a good program. You should listen to that.
Absolutely, you should.
First of all, you should plug that because you were on it.
It's also on the Beefcase Network.
I fucking hate you.
Have you thought of an alternate name?
No,
Fuck you, Joe. We're gonna hate.
No,
I have until
don't.
the summer to figure that out, because I'm gonna do it the right way instead of let's just find a briefcase made out of bacon and then post a million fucking status updates. Yeah, Troy, bring it.
Sounds like a plan to me.
I'm such a fan of this. This is a great feud. This is a great feud.
No, fuck it.
This
No.
feud is better than all of WrestleMania.
Oh,
Speaking of which, we next had the street fight.
Oh yeah, that's right. That was pretty early in the card, wasn't it?
Between Brock Lesnar and Dean Ambrose.
Dean Ambrose with no little red wagon.
Yeah, no fucking wagon. No fucking. They spent all that time on, him coming out with a wagon, filling up the wagon.
only saw him get Barbie from or whatever from Mick Foley. That's the only one I saw.
Yep, he got Barbie and he got the chainsaw, but neither one of those came into play. Obviously not the chainsaw, but
they appeared, but they did not come into play.
Yes, no, he tried to use Barbie but was unsuccessful, so it kind of seemed a little pointless.
Yeah,
they don't want to bleed.
As soon as the chains, well, it wasn't real. He stuck the barbed wire in his mouth. It wasn't real barbed wire. Either way, we have said on this program numerous times over the past month or so since this match was announced, and in the lead up to this match, the way they were booking this match, that there's no way Dean Ambrose loses. Because if Dean Ambrose loses, it's the dumbest decision WWE Creative has ever made.
Oh no, I definitely thought Dean Ambrose was going to lose.
Oh, I knew I knew Brock Lesnar was going to win this. I called this match totally.
Ambrose has been jobbing for like 4 straight months.
All that matters is Dean Ambrose takes a hell of a beating, looks indestructible, and moves on.
Yeah. Now, I didn't realize he would be beaten that easily.
I was gonna say, except he didn't, because they probably had to cut the match short because the fucking thing was already running long at that point. And so what we got was a pretty straightforward Brock Lesnar beatdown. Dean Ambrose did not look that strong. Really, there was no hope spots in the match. Nothing to make it seem like he had a chance to beat Brock Lesnar. And then F5 on a bunch of chairs, pinfall victory for Brock Lesnar. And once again, a month and a half of storytelling is all for naught.
Well, I mean, in fairness, I mean, what Andy was saying was Ambrose kept taking a beating and coming back, but the counterpoint is that he didn't get a lot of his own offense in, so it kind of seemed like he was just getting, beaten down. But it is what it is. Brock just squashes everybody anyway, so.
Yeah, no big deal. I mean, it was a good match. I liked it still. I thought it was entertaining. Was it the best match on the card? No. I mean, but I still liked it for what it was, and I knew that Brock Lesnar wasn't going to lose. I mean, they I don't know what their plan is with Brock Lesnar at this point, honestly, but whatever it is, I don't know. They'll figure it out, I guess.
Yeah. Nobody beats Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania unless your name is Triple H or Goldberg. That's it.
Yep, that's it. Only one's allowed. Speaking of Goldberg, that great Goldberg cameo that everyone said was going to happen at WrestleMania, right? Am I right?
Oh, was that a thing?
That was a thing. Everyone kept talking about it, and I'm like, there's no way in hell. And guess what? It didn't happen.
No, and he actually tweeted about it either yesterday or today, coming out and finally saying he had never been contacted about appearing at WrestleMania. There was no way he was showing up at Mania. He just didn't comment on it before WrestleMania because he didn't want to spoil anyone, basically. He didn't want to ruin the fun.
Well, I mean, talk about a guy who wasn't made by WWE. Goldberg was there for, 1 year? I think a pretty uneventful run. He's still complaining about the time when Goldust put the wig on him. So I feel like he wasn't a big fan of his WWE run, and the feeling was mutual. So I think they're okay with not bringing him back.
Right.
He also didn't Goldberg kind of have the reputation of one of those guys who basically gets everything and doesn't really appreciate it? I
think so. I think that's what at least Bret Hart has said several times.
Yeah, well, if Bret Hart can actually remember that, because Goldberg kicked him so hard in the head.
So, shall we move on to the match of the night?
Concussions.
Oh, the match of the night, yes, by all means. Is that next?
For the WWE Women's Championship.
Oh, I thought you were saying the Battle Royal. I thought that was okay.
Oh, sorry, my bad.
No, we're still 2 matches away from that shit show.
Okay.
We still have to set the all-time attendance record, even though problems with that. But anyway.
Yeah.
No, that did come after. But anyways, Charlotte defending. Well, I guess does it count as a title defense if it's a new championship? Probably not. So
technically,
Charlotte versus Becky Lynch versus Sasha Banks. Absolutely.
Once again, another semi-strange decision, but I'm okay with it.
Yeah. The decision was made. Charlotte retained, or Charlotte won the new championship. Charlotte became women's champion. A lot of people, me included, Jason included, said we're expecting Sasha Banks to win just because she was so hot going into this.
And she was channeling the ghost of Eddie Guerrero, which always seems to get you a title reign.
And is so hot in general. But anyways, yes, I loved the Eddie Guerrero tights. The Eddie Guerrero trunks were beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
And then she had another version of those on Raw that weren't full pants, were just the underpants. But
she was wearing Eddie Guerrero's underpants?
Basically, yeah,
I think so.
That's what I'm saying.
All right.
But yeah, great match as expected. The 3 ladies who actually can wrestle and have been wrestling with each other since NXT days and have come up together, and so are comfortable in the ring with each other, know how each other work in the ring, and have been together long enough that they can put together an amazing match like the one we saw Sunday night at WrestleMania.
Yep, and it was a great match, and I was perfectly fine with the outcome. I was kind of hoping maybe they'd give it to Becky Lynch. Honestly, I was my want was maybe let's push Becky. She was kind of the outsider of the 3, But I'm perfectly fine with Charlotte going over, winning the title.
I am okay with Charlotte winning and becoming the first women's champion, the first WWE women's champion. I was really, what I did not like, what I kind of pissed me off was the fact that Ric Flair was involved in the decision. I really think, especially because it was, crowning a new women's champion, starting a new women's division, getting rid of the Divas tournament, and showing that these three women are, superstars in their own right and can compete on the same level as the men. I really was more annoyed than anything that the finish came down to Ric Flair interference.
Yeah, but
and I
she's
know
the heel. She's the heel.
And I was going to say, and I know that is how they have played it over the past month since Charlotte's heel turn. That she is Daddy's little girl. Ric Flair will use the tricks that he has up his sleeve to make sure that the title stays around her waist. But I still feel that at WrestleMania and in such a high-profile match where you are, officially crowning a new women's champion, that I feel like it should have been a clean victory. The match itself was great. Again, perfectly okay with Charlotte being the women's champion, winning the match. I would have been perfectly happy with any of those three women walking away from WrestleMania with the championship. I just wish it had been a clean victory.
I'll just say I think the way they're booking Ric Flair is actually pretty good. Booking him as the as the manager, because you would think at this point, I think I've said this in the past before as well, that you would think at this point Ric Flair by default is just going to get cheers no matter what, based on the fact that he's Ric Flair. But I found myself actually getting kind of angry when he was holding Sasha back. I was like, no, you son of a bitch. Exactly. And then I was thinking, oh wait, that's exactly what they're going for. So they actually did work me. They got some legit heel heat out of me. Yeah. So yeah, I'm
probably in the exact same boat, just because. But still, it was a fantastic match. Does Ric Flair have his manager's license?
Well, obviously he must if he's allowed to be at ringside.
Yeah, I'll say he wouldn't be otherwise.
Call back to the Raw Attitude podcast.
You should listen to
that. But yeah, absolutely, match of the night. Fantastic match, as expected. They came, they delivered, they put on a show, and I'm going to say they stole the show.
They did.
Yeah, I agree. Nothing but 2 paws up.
And then we have Hell in a Cell.
Nope. We have the all-time attendance record announcement, I do believe. Yeah. Or is that later? Was that what The Rock is that now, or is that?
That was with The Rock, I think.
The Rock came out after the Battle Royal.
Oh, is that after the Battle Royal?
Yeah. So we got Hell in a Cell, Battle Royal, Rock.
Got it. Okay. Got it.
Event. So, yeah, Undertaker versus Shane McMahon.
Can I call this right now as the worst Hell in a Cell match I've ever seen?
Undertaker versus Big Boss.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Undertaker versus Big Boss Man takes that title from me.
This was a boring fucking
garbage.
Match.
But it did end with the Big Boss Man hanging by his neck from the cell.
So there's that.
Hall of Famer. But yeah, this was not. It did not live up to expectations. It did not live up to the hype, and then also Shane McMahon lost. So
yeah, well, that was the right call. I actually was probably more into this match than you guys were, because there were definitely a lot of down moments.
I popped for the coast to coast. I popped for the leap of faith.
Yeah.
The Shane McMahon leaping off of the now much taller Hell in a Cell than the one Shawn Michaels or Mick Foley was thrown off of through the announce table, which in replays did obviously have an airbag underneath it, but still was holy shit. I will freely admit that I marked the fuck out for that.
Did you just say Foley shit?
Holy Foley, but that's the WWE Network. We'll talk about that.
Oh God. I will say, I just hope people don't say like, "Oh my God, Shane's was better than Foley's." Like with Mankind, there was no padding under. He landed on the goddamn concrete.
He was wearing a brace of some kind, but yeah, there was no airbag.
Right.
That was 16, 20 feet in the air to the floor. This was 20 feet into an airbag.
Yeah, yes, and then Mick Foley also got thrown through the top of the cell and got thrown onto thumbtacks, and then still somehow did a run in. Yeah. Still did a run-in the main event that night. So
I also noticed the holes in the side of the cage to help Shane climb, which I had never noticed before.
Those have always been there.
Yeah, I've
never noticed those.
Yeah. I thought the bit with the bolt cutters was really awkward. Because it just took up time and seemed to just kind of drag. But I think it was as good a match as you can expect from a 51-year-old facing a 46-year-old inside Hell in a Cell.
I was bored.
Yeah.
It was, yeah. It wasn't anything great. It wasn't going to steal the show. But I do feel like it was overhyped.
Yeah, they built it to steal the show. I mean, they built this to be the match of the night, and it underwhelmed. Compared to most things on the card, it was one of the most underwhelming matches in my opinion.
Well, maybe the actual main event. But,
and then the Undertaker wins. I know we've talked about on this show. The expectation that we had was for Shane to win the match, but not win the match. After some kind of not interference, but some kind of appearance by Vince that just leads the Undertaker to go, well, fuck you then, old man, and take the loss. That obviously didn't happen. There was no appearance by Vince. There was no appearance by anyone, not even Pete Gas.
Well, yeah, I will say on that note, there was a moment where I thought that was about to happen, like after Shane had gone through the table and the Taker brought him back in the ring, and I think Shane was doing the thing with the hands where he's like, yeah, bring it, come on. Like, Taker grabbed him by the jersey, I think, and for a second I thought, is he going to pull Shane on top of him and just be like, oh, you got my respect by trying to murder yourself, but thankfully that did not happen.
And even after Vince McMahon called the Undertaker his bitch, there was no follow-up to that.
Yeah,
and I feel
Vince was not even there.
Yeah. So the match disappointed on many levels, including the fact that, as I see it, and I know that people are probably going to disagree with me, but that the wrong person won that match.
Definitely disagree.
Like we've discussed on here. I mean, we can talk about what happened on Raw tomorrow and Shane McMahon on Raw tomorrow. But what happened here, like I said last week, was like the whole Domino's Pizza thing, where they're like, "Hey, we know our product sucks. Maybe we'll make it better." But
yet you still eat Domino's Pizza.
I do. I liked these shitty Domino's pizzas. So.
But on that note, I will say that the booking was, well, first of all, I think definitely that Undertaker should have won, because you can't have the only two people who beat Taker at WrestleMania be Brock Lesnar and Shane McMahon.
I think it would have been acceptable if it went down like we had planned in our heads on this show the past few weeks. But
yeah, I will freely admit that the booking was strange, because they basically have Shane coming back, getting a massive, gigantic reaction saying, I'm going to bring change to the WWE, and then...
No.
Yeah, and then it's like, well, he just lost. It's like, by nature, you should be rooting for Shane McMahon in this match, just by virtue of that, but you really can't have Shane McMahon go over the Undertaker.
No, you can't. You can't, unless you have some sort of major shenanigans, which it didn't do, and they brought it to right. They came up with another way to make Shane significant on Raw, which we'll talk about next week. I mean,
somehow.
I mean, they came up with something. It didn't make the most sense, but it at least was something.
Not next week. Tomorrow.
Sorry, tomorrow.
Trust me. When I say Shane McMahon should have beaten the Undertaker, I'm not saying Shane McMahon should have beaten the Undertaker. I'm saying Shane McMahon should have won the match. Every right to have the Undertaker destroy Shane McMahon. But Shane McMahon should have somehow won the match.
I don't really care about Shane. I really don't. I think that the return of Shane was like a stupid idea to begin with. It wasn't necessary. But that's just me. I'm not a big Shane McMahon fan at this point. So.
Not a big Shane McFan, huh?
Not a big Shane McFan. I'm sorry.
I was okay with bringing him back, but now, I mean, yeah, I guess we'll just see where they go with this angle now. Since he obviously, spoiler alert, got the chance to book Raw the next night anyway, even though he lost. But I guess we'll just have to see how it plays out.
Which was also confusing, and we'll talk about that tomorrow.
Yeah.
But what about Shane bringing his sons out with him?
Yeah, that was kind of goofy.
As I tweeted, Shane McMahon bringing his sons to watch him get murdered by the Undertaker.
Yeah.
I feel like that's just a moment where, 15 years from now, when his sons are on-camera characters, they can look back and be like, "Oh, look, he danced with his dad at WrestleMania." Blah, blah, blah.
And then, even better, when he brings them down to ringside and he's passing them over the barricade to his wife, and standing right next to his wife is Linda fucking McMahon.
Yeah. I
So
completely
Linda.
missed that.
So Linda is apparently on Shane's side and doesn't want Vince, doesn't want Triple H, doesn't want Stephanie running the program.
Well, we know that because back at WrestleMania X7, Shane was on the comatose Linda's side. So that's just common sense.
Oh, God.
Was Linda still looking comatose, by the way?
Well, she's a robot anyway, so.
Yeah, there you go. People of Connecticut, I want you to vote for me.
Never forget, Linda McMahon was the one who inducted the Ultimate Warrior into the WWE.
I have forgotten that.
Never forget. Always remember.
He used to come by the house and I'd make him tea and biscuits. This is a human thing to say, correct?
I used to make him human tea and biscuits.
There were many treats of which he would consume. I don't know.
The human Ultimate Warrior.
Then I would take him to the bathroom and shoot him up in his buttocks. No, wait, sorry.
That's your next that's your next Shadow Van story right there, Andy.
Oh my
Robot-
God, no.
Robot
Good.
McMahon.
Oh my God, that is great though. I kind of want to write a short story as a crossover to promote both shows. That would be fantastic.
I'll do the voice for it right here.
You can be Lindabot. It'll be amazing.
The human designated the Ultimate Warrior.
Oh my God.
to the Shadow Vein, where horrific tales of Linda McMahon reside. There you go. That's a free bumper for you right
It
there.
just needs the creepy music in the background, and it's right there. Perfect.
Yeah.
You do. This is amazing.
All
right.
Project
You
McMahon.
talked about the Undertaker, right? Okay. The Battle Royal.
Project McManus. Yes, the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay. Can I start with this one?
Please.
I brought up like 17 times when we were watching it over at Bill's house. Why the fuck was Tatanka there with no explanation, no anything?
Fair.
Why?
That is a fair question.
My wife just kept going, "Who's the fat guy?" I'm like, you need to be more specific than that.
Yeah.
Every time I said to like, why is Tatanka there? Bill would be an asshole and say Buffalo every single time.
Well, you have to. You have to.
On cue.
By the way, I've met Tatanka. He's a very nice man. But
why was he there? It made no sense.
Like I said, there were many things about this WrestleMania that baffled me. There were many things that I was just outright just agape, mouth agape, just what the fuck is going on?
I'm glad your mouth was agape and not something else. But anyway.
The number one moment that truly just boggled my mind during WrestleMania 32 was the surprise appearance during the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal.
I've already forgotten this until you just said that.
Of Shaq.
I think I tried to block it out.
Why in the ever-loving fuck was Shaquille O'Goddamn Neal in the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal? And why, dear God, why do they seem to be building up a feud between him and the Big Show?
Well, what I will point out is it seemed kind of odd that the world's largest athlete was dwarfed by Shaquille O'Neal.
Thank you.
Seemed
to
be a larger athlete.
I think they're talking overall volume because the Big Show is certainly wider around them.
I want to go to the math teachers tomorrow and be like, hey, I've got a math problem for you.
Yeah.
What's the volume of the Big Show?
Of the Big Show. Here are the measurements. Go.
In cubic liters.
That's like saying I get the most cooter out of all my friends if you go by weight.
So it's that old George Carlin line. I never fucked a 10, but one night I fucked 5 2s.
And that should count. But my biggest question going into this was, why was Cesaro not in it? He won the Battle Royal 2 years ago, granted, did nothing with it, but you could have put him in there. He could have been the 2-time Battle Royal winner, and then they just put him on Raw the next night anyway. So why not just have him do it?
Because it was better to have him as a surprise on Raw.
I guess so, but...
How about them ratings?
Which one would Cesaro rather be on? Let me ask you that. Wouldn't he rather get the WrestleMania payday?
He seemed perfectly fine with his surprise appearance on Raw. Thank you very much.
Yeah, and they did a lot with him there too.
He was in the main event.
Yeah, did he win?
That doesn't matter.
All right. By the way, do we credit Shane McMahon for that? Was that Shane McMahon's booking there?
I would say so, because that was actually announced during the show.
We credit Shane McMahon for debuting Enzo and Cass as well, I guess.
Sure.
Okay, but anyway, so Baron Corbin winning the Battle Royal. Are we cool with that?
I'm perfectly cool with that. I think it was a perfect decision.
Yeah. After the Social Outcasts got eliminated, it was really the only logical choice in terms of actually doing something useful with the Battle Royal. I think Baron Corbin was the only logical choice for that.
I legit thought they were going to have Kane win it because, like last year, Big Show never won a Battle Royal or a Royal Rumble, so they gave it to him last year. His father's a giant, blah, blah, blah. And Kane has legit been in, I think, 19 Royal Rumbles without winning. So I was like, okay, they're probably just going to give it to him because it's meaningless anyway. But no, they gave it to the young up-and-comer.
They did. I'm happy about it.
Just in case anybody has not listened to, I think it was last week's episode, or has not been fortunate enough to notice this, I'm going to point it out just so everyone has to suffer the same effects as I do. Baron Corbin's belly button looks like the Joker's smile. You're never going to get that out of your head now. Enjoy that.
Huh. Do I know how my belly button got these scars?
Exactly. Exactly. Fucking Shaq, man. What the fuck?
You're saying Shaq should have gone over?
No, I'm saying Shaq should not have been within 150 miles of WrestleMania 32.
Are you saying
it's believable?
Are you saying that the Big Show fighting a random celebrity is completely unheard of? Is that what you're saying?
I'm saying
when he wore that diaper at that one WrestleMania? Or when he got knocked the fuck out by Mayweather?
Did Shaq wrestle in WCW, or am I misremembering that because they had so many other awful cameos?
Karl Malone did. I think Shaq was there for the very first Hulk Hogan pay-per-view match in WCW.
Don't hang up on Karl Malone.
And obviously Rodman wrestled a couple times too. But I will just say I'm okay with Shaq being in it.
Goddamn kite.
Yeah. I'm okay with Shaq being in it because he was one of, a bunch of guys in a battle royal and got tossed out. The more questionable thing for me was at SummerSlam when you had Stephen Amell going head to head.
That was a good match.
Yeah, and that wasn't just a 2-on-2 a tag team match where he was actually holding his own with WWE guys.
Yeah. Which
seemed kind of strange to me because it's not like Stephen Amell is some amazing, intimidating presence as Shaq is, and they seem to be playing up for. It looked like they were holding out for another Stephen Amell versus Stardust match at WrestleMania that didn't happen. But basically, what I'm saying is I'm more in favor of Shaq being in the Battle Royal than Stephen Amell going toe to toe with one of the WWE's stars.
Taking a step back, actually, Stephen Amell was in the crowd, was in the front row behind the announcers.
Not in costume though, that pussy.
And posted a Facebook video of Shane diving off the top of the Hell in a Cell.
Nice.
And is enough of a worker, enough of a kayfabe guy that the way he framed the video, you could not see the airbag underneath the table.
And then he also tweeted, "But the arrow would have hit that elbow drop."
It's true.
Honestly, on first viewing, I thought that was the worst part. The fact that the Undertaker moved, I was like, "Holy shit!"
Yeah,
I was definitely okay with Undertaker moving because he had to be on that table for a long ass time while Shane climbed the cell and then paused even longer while he was on top of the cell.
I was like, "Oh God, pray to God, Jesus Christ!" So fucking.
Yeah, doing the cross, by the way, the whatever you want to call it, that's a throwback to when he used to do those crazy times when he dove onto the Big Show. I think was the one where he did the elbow drop.
Yeah, the only spot that I think was missing from that Hell in a Cell match was Shane throwing the shooting star press, because I had forgotten until they were showing the looks back at Shane McMahon's career that he used to throw, and it was a halfway decent shooting star press.
He tried it against Kurt Angle before he landed on his goddamn head.
Wrong shooting star press.
Also, by the way, did you notice the guy in the crowd who had the sign that said "Shooting Star Press City"? 'Cause
Yes.
that was amazing.
I did.
Nice callback to Brock's most famous WrestleMania moment.
My favorite
second
sign.
most famous.
My favorite sign I only saw during the pre-show, I think, because the guy just happened to be walking past the hard cam while going to wherever his seats were, and it said, "What has the Roman Reigns ever done for us?" And that is the greatest Monty Python reference at a WrestleMania I've ever seen. In my life.
That's what that was? Okay.
Yes, it's from the movie Life of Brian.
Yes.
It's amazing. It's so amazing. Anyway.
Actually, one quick diversion just on the Brock Lesnar note. He was on ESPN being interviewed, and they asked him, "What's your favorite? If you had one most memorable WrestleMania moment, what would it be?" And he actually said the shooting star press, which was really great. But then I was like, dude, you remember you ended the streak, right? I mean, you could say, that moment that's one of the most crazy fucked up moments of all time, but no, you went with you landing on your own goddamn head. Okay, all right, whatever. So,
anyway. Then, finally, after a month and a half of them counting down 41 days, 36 days, 82 days.
That's not counting down when you go to 82.
The Rock is going to be there, but they're not going to tell us what The Rock is going to do. The Rock came out to...
The Rock had an amazing moment.
Why? Why? This is number 2 on my list of baffling things.
No, this is number 1 on my list, actually.
Why did The Rock have a flamethrower?
Yeah.
Why the hell not?
My favorite reaction was like,
I thought it was a T-shirt gun, so I was like,
arrive, shoot at T-shirts, leave. Thousands of fans waving their arms like, I want a free T-shirt! And then all of a sudden, flames come out, and they're like, holy shit, he's attacking us! There was that moment of like, is The Rock a terrorist? That was...
So apparently, just for the goddamn hell of it, The Rock, who was preceded by the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders, again, for no reason whatsoever, except that we were in Dallas.
Now, wait a minute, hold on. I will say there was a reason for this, and I'll tell you what it was.
Yeah.
All these years, he's been saying, you smell what The Rock is cooking, but we've never seen him actually do the cooking.
So he flame broiled a sign that said Rock.
The flame broiled rocker.
For no reason whatsoever. And then came to the ring, and apparently his big job at WrestleMania, his big, surprise star guest host, whatever you want to call it, his big appearance at WrestleMania was to tell, no, because that was a surprise. That wasn't was to tell us the attendance. Hooray!
No, okay. Can I say one thing about the attendance, and I'm sure you have a few other things to say about the attendance. My favorite part of that was this year they spun it so much. They said the highest attendance record in WrestleMania history, which is not what they wanted to say. They wanted to say that it was the highest for that arena, because that's what you do at WrestleMania, is you say this is bigger than whatever other sporting event, Super Bowl, whatever. Nope, they fucked it up. They couldn't do it. They couldn't fill enough seats. So I love the little bit of subterfuge there. Like, we'll just change the word slightly to, make it be what it actually is, but still make it seem like that's a big deal.
Yeah, my favorite example of that was last year, where they're like, we've set the all-time attendance record for the new San Francisco Stadium that had been open for 8 months at that point.
Yep.
So,
yeah. So yes, but then he got interrupted.
Yes, we set the WrestleMania attendance record with not really 101,300 whatever fans it was. Reports have it that it is more than the 93,000 that they announced for the Pontiac Silverdome.
It's more than that other figure they made up,
which was probably closer to 75,000, but it is not over 94,000.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's still a lot of people, so at least they can be happy with that. And I'm sure they grossed a crap load of money for that whole week.
Of course they do. It's fucking WrestleMania.
Yeah.
And then The Rock was interrupted by the Wyatt family. The only reason I can see for this is because you have to get that shot of 101,000 people being fireflies, which was amazing. An amazing shot, seeing the entire AT&T stadium lit up with cell phone cameras.
And don't forget, you can also get the great moment of The Rock telling Bray Wyatt that he eats Hot Pockets. So there's that.
I tweeted that when he was like, actually, and I wanted him to be like, I'm more of a lean pocket guy myself.
Joke's on you, Rock. I only eat lean pockets.
Joke's on you, Rock. I only eat bagel bites.
We're in a prison of our own device, but I don't like Hot Pockets. But, this is blah, blah.
Out comes the Wyatt family. Bray Wyatt cuts a great Bray Wyatt promo on The Rock. The false idol and all that.
Also, quick callback. So Braun Strowman, the much rumored Battle Royal win, he was not even in the Battle Royal. So.
Brown Snowman, yeah.
Braun Strowman.
Yeah, apparently they had they got cold feet on that as well. But I think Baron Corbin is a better choice for that, anyways. If they actually do things with him on the main roster. But
if Baron Corbin can do more than 2 moves, then yes, I guess he's a better choice.
So Wyatt family comes out, and Bray Wyatt cuts a promo on The Rock, and The Rock then completely makes fun of them and just berates them and talks smack until saying then that he respects them and then talks more shit about them.
Yeah.
Yep.
Doesn't make much sense.
And then he tears off his clothes.
That was the highlight for me.
And challenges them to a match.
And you know what the point of this was? I can tell you exactly what the point of this was.
Please.
Beats Rowan in 6 seconds.
Yeah.
They wanted to give the literal example of Fast 6. That's exactly what it was.
Yeah.
Nice.
So then they set the record for fastest pinfall ever at a WrestleMania.
Yeah.
When The Rock pins Eric Rowan in 6 seconds.
Yeah. A quick question about that is didn't they? Oh, sorry. I was just gonna say, but before wasn't that whole thing where Kane beat was it Chavo for the ECW title?
Yeah, that was like 9 seconds.
Okay. All right.
Which again belies my point earlier of old retired legends coming back and making fools of current roster superstars.
Mm-hmm.
Not a fan of that.
Yeah, I'll agree.
Yeah, this was a little strange, I guess. I mean, it certainly doesn't do much for the Wyatt family, especially if you're trying to turn them face as well. That was also kind of weird because it's
we'll talk about that tomorrow.
Yeah, because you make them obviously out to be heels on the biggest show of the year, and then the next night it's like, nope, reset button. Those guys who just got humiliated and look like total chumps, now you should root for them.
Yeah. Well, the crowd's been cheering them anyway, but that was more... anyway, we'll talk about that tomorrow.
Yeah.
What then happened is, to add insult to injury, the surprise, not really a surprise because he was at the Hall of Fame return of John Cena.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Sting. My mistake.
John Cena, who I was very happy that I did not recognize his theme song right away. I was like, who is that? Oh, fuck. Fucking apple juice. John Cena comes out and helps The Rock destroy Bray Wyatt and not Luke Harper, Braun Snowman. I bet Luke Harper's really happy he's injured now.
I think he probably would have liked to have been in that spot even.
Just to put the icing on the shit cake. Thanks for coming, Bray. It was a good promo, at least.
It was good to be here. That's my Bray Wyatt.
Oh, okay.
That's a bad Bray Wyatt, but at least Bray Wyatt did take the pitfall. I mean, there's that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh well. That's also the funny thing too, is like on the biggest show of the year where Rock is like, let's have a match. Bray Wyatt's like, no, I don't think I want to be in a match in WrestleMania. Rowan, you got this.
Yeah, exactly. Main event time?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yup.
And then of course, they're talking about how John Cena and The Rock are bestie friends. Bestie friends after their 2-year feud from 4 years ago.
Also, by the way, so is Cena... I assume Cena is not back fully yet, right?
I hope not. He posted something on Twitter either today or yesterday about how he was bench pressing again, and they told me that bench pressing at 6 months before 6 months is impossible, and he's only at like 3 months, and I'm like, good, please do that, and then fuck yourself up more so you're gone longer.
Oh boy. Actually, on that note, I forgot to mention something that was funny also from the pre-show, where Cena's girlfriend Nikki Bella came out in her gear but with a neck brace.
Yeah.
That was
Glenn,
kind of amusing.
Glenn D. Morton posted about that on our Facebook page.
Oh, did he?
Asking basically if you're guaranteed not to have any physical confrontation or any kind of in-ring action with anybody, why the fuck would you wear that?
Also, it was kind of funny seeing somebody in wrestling with a legitimate neck brace for a change, because usually that's like the go-to heel thing where it's like, I'm too injured to compete, I got this neck brace.
And it's just, it's the Joel Gertner neck pillow.
Yeah, exactly. If Nikki Bella had a bow tie on her neck brace, that would have been better.
Which, to be fair, is technically a neck brace, but
yeah. But anyway, kind of a goofy look, but yeah.
Yeah, I really wanted someone during that celebration at the end of the 10 shitbag match to accidentally bump into her or knock her over or something, and then just so she gets completely fucked and then can't come back ever. But sadly,
you're an asshole, man.
She wasn't
people
that
make fun
bad.
of you.
Oh, people make fun of Adam?
Never, it's never happened. All right, moving on to the main event.
Oh boy.
Oh, are you talking about when I trolled Nikki Bella fans on Instagram?
You're terrible. You're a terrible human being. Let's move on.
Yes, to the main event.
Yes, the main event.
The main event that started at 11:22 p.m. Eastern Time on a show,
baby.
on a show that technically started at 5 p.m.
Yeah. With that being said, I still would not have cut out Stephanie's promo at the beginning because that was awesome.
No,
that was awesome.
Absolutely. I read in the host group text that we have, Jason sent us a link to a Reddit AMA from the anonymous Redditor who works for WWE but nobody knows who he is, who posts all like the kind of insider information, and he was talking about how I love the fact that he's people keep guessing who it is and people keep guessing Kevin Owens, and he's actually kind of playing along with that now and claiming that he is Kevin Owens. Anyway, he posted one of the questions that he answered. The basic question was it supposed to go that long? And his answer was basically no. And people were relieved beyond description that they had purchased the pay-per-view time until midnight, because otherwise the Andre the Giant Battle Royal would have had to have happened on Raw.
Was there even a post-show at that point?
No.
I don't think so, yeah.
They did main event, music video, and then back to the replay of WrestleMania.
Then a 3-minute post-show, and then that was it.
Yeah.
But
so,
yeah, the match was nothing to write home about.
Your main event, Roman Reigns versus Triple H for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. The hell was that?
Well, I don't know.
I have people going by outside. This mic is very sensitive, but anyway.
The crowd again, still not surprisingly, booing the wrong person, and cheering Triple H in everything he did, booing Roman Reigns in everything he did. The most over that Roman Reigns got was after accidentally spearing Stephanie McMahon, which was a great spot.
Yep.
Great spot, and his heat or his cheers from that lasted about 4 minutes maybe, and then they were back to booing him again.
Yeah. I will actually say, so on a card where we had a lot of Attitude Era stars, where you had The Rock, Stone Cold Steve Austin, Shawn Michaels, Mick Foley, Dudley Boyz Lita, etc., we also got a great pop for that Attitude Era standard, violence toward women. So it's good. It's good that we had that. And also the message that's the great message that sends to Roman Reigns getting booed out of the building. The only thing that gets him cheered is when he hits a woman. So there you go. All you young up-and-comers, make sure that you do that. That's what gets you.
Pay close attention. Pay close attention.
Yep.
Go home and beat your girlfriend.
And then the ending just looked so bizarre. because Stephanie, who's now outside the ring at this point, recuperating, pulls out the sledgehammer, passes the sledgehammer to
drowsily.
passes the sledgehammer to Triple H. Triple H then gets beaten up for like 2.5 minutes without dropping the sledgehammer. And it just looked so bizarre that he's like flopping around into the corner and it's still in his hand, like oh yeah, we still have to do shit with this, so I can't let it go. So
yeah.
So
and so how heavy was that sledgehammer? Because Stephanie had enough energy to hand it to Hunter, but then when they panned back to her afterwards, she's like, I'm dead on the ground right now.
Maybe it was the foam hammer.
Maybe.
I still need to remember which pay-per-view that was, so I can go back and see if they included that on the network.
Yeah, I hope they do. Where he puts it on the steel stairs and you can see the head of it squish. Yeah.
No, I think it was. You spot or Kogos Sean spotted it before when we were watching. When we were in college, we used to go to this place called Good Time, which was an arcade and cocaine emporium in Somerville, to watch the pay-per-views after we got kicked out of Hooters. But that's another story for another time. And there was one pay-per-view, and I can't remember which one it is. I can just know the time. It was some point between 2001 and 2002. One of those where he pulled out the hammer from underneath the ring and placed it on the ring apron, and then went to slide in the ring and put pressure on it, and like you said, it's just squished into the mat.
That's almost as bad as that time in WCW where Hacksaw Jim Duggan had the foam 2x4. I don't know if you've ever seen that, but when he comes in, does a run and hits a bunch of people with the 2x4, and the 2x4 basically is bending instead of shattering, as you might think a 2x4 would. It's horrendous.
I feel like there have been baseball bat spots like that in WWE at one point too.
Yeah, probably.
Anyway,
Knuckleball Schwartz.
So basically what we were just talking about was more entertaining than the main event.
Yes. So Roman goes over after a spear or two and a Superman punch or two.
Yeah.
And wins the WWE World Heavyweight Championship at 11:45.
So him winning the title, I mean, you're saying it very begrudgingly, and I agree. But what's the other option? At this point, they can't abort. They can't abort the match. They can't have Triple H win. He's a placeholder champion. They've got to do, kind of what they did on Raw, and just try to, as you'll talk about tomorrow, just try the heel turn.
Yeah, and that's the problem with this whole thing, is there is no other option because Vince McMahon is so dead set on Roman Reigns being, as he put it last night, the guy.
Mm-hmm.
That we weren't given any other option. We were given Dean Ambrose, and Dean Ambrose and Triple H had a hell of a match at Roadblock. But obviously Dean wasn't going to win the championship, and so this is what we got stuck with because this is what was thrust upon us. And we were not given a choice about. And so
you're going to get it, and you're going to like it.
And I fully understand that the booking of this WrestleMania has suffered due to the numerous injuries across the board between Nikki Bella, John Cena, Neville, and everybody else, Randy Orton, Cesaro, everybody.
Seth.
Seth Rollins, absolutely. Because imagine what could have been if leading up to this WrestleMania they had the chance to book Seth Rollins versus Roman Reigns versus Dean Ambrose.
It would have been amazing. It would have been an unbelievable main event.
Charts.
We are still owed that match.
Yeah.
We are.
But and so I completely understand that this WrestleMania did suffer because there was a lack of available superstars because of this injury bug that has bitten the WWE over the past few months. But what we got and how looking at the build-up over from the Royal Rumble until now is just so I can't even. There's not even words that are coming to my mind to describe this. It was so incomprehensibly just puzzling and confusing and just so poorly thought out. Like we talked about before, the most competently booked match, the match that actually had story and was actually put together in an understanding way, the best booked match going into WrestleMania was the Women's Championship match.
Yeah.
And that is probably why it was match of the night.
It was also a great match, though.
Oh, absolutely, as was expected. But the Hell in a Cell match thrown together at the last minute, Shane McMahon, only appearing 4 weeks ago to lead up to this. The Triple H, like you said, Andy having to be a placeholder champion after Rollins went out. And so
that women's match, for the record, was the best women's match I've seen since Alicia Fox versus Tamina, or whatever that answer was. What was that answer she gave? Alicia Fox versus
Melina? Wasn't it Melina?
Oh, yeah. There you go.
Melina, not Tamina.
Sorry. They're the same. They look identical. I can't tell.
I get the joke you were making.
Yeah.
And so you can't fault WWE completely for how terrible this WrestleMania was, but goddamn, this was a bad WrestleMania.
Yeah. It's a bit of a downer. I would still say mediocre, but it's a bit of a downer coming off 31 and 30 the past 2 years, which were both very, very good.
Yeah.
Right.
And with, the big Dallas stadium, the brand new one, 100,000 people plus, we knew that going in that they were going to try to fill that many people. You kind of expected
100,000 people plus.
100,000, wink, wink. You were hoping they would rise to the occasion for this potentially record-setting crowd, but wasn't meant to be.
Yeah, and so just like I said, a series of just confusing not confusing cameos, but confusing endings to matches. The matches themselves were great, served the purposes that they needed to serve. Nothing bad happened in the ring. I don't remember any botched spots, really. So the matches themselves were perfectly decent, but a lot of the endings were, to me, confusing. A lot of just the way that we had been led up to this, some of the endings to the matches didn't make sense based on the story that they were telling leading up to it. Again, as I have said, you guys disagree, but I was a fan, of course, of seeing Shawn Michaels, Steve Austin, Mick Foley, The Rock, but I don't like the legends being used and being put over current roster talent. But of course, the New Day shines because the New Day always shines. The giant box of Bootios was amazing.
Of course.
If you look at the picture that Jason posted of the Bootrition facts on the side of the box,
that was pretty good.
Glorious. So go onto our Facebook if you haven't seen that.
I'm actually just thinking out loud now. Triple H has been in, I don't even know how many WrestleMania main events now, 6, 7, something like that. Has he had a good showing? Because I'm trying to think, WrestleMania 2000 was the 4-way that was pretty meh. Triple H as a heel retains. There was the one where he went against Jericho that was, I think, the same night of Rock Hogan, so it got completely overshadowed. Yeah. There was his match.
The one against Randy Orton, that was the same night as Shawn Michaels Undertaker at
exactly.
At
so
WrestleMania
I don't think 25. Yeah, so I don't think he's actually. No, well, I take it back. I guess at 20 there was the 3-way between him, Shawn Michaels, and Stevie Richards. That was a good one.
Was when he was in the Hell in a Cell against the Undertaker the second time. Let's not talk about the first time. Second time, the end of an era match. Did that main event?
No, that was like pretty early in the show.
Okay, because that was a great match. That with Shawn Michaels as the special referee.
Oh yeah, I mean he's definitely had great matches at WrestleMania, but when he's headlined the event, I feel like more often than not the match has either been overshadowed by another match or it hasn't been that great.
Okay, I guess that decides it then. Triple H just can't draw. He needs to be let go immediately.
Yeah, well, I mean, how many matches does he have left, really? I don't. And I'm not even going to go back and keep complaining about the fact that they put the title belt on Triple H, having him win the Royal Rumble, and then main event WrestleMania in the year 2016. Another very questionable decision, but that's I've been bitching enough about that.
And again, most likely due to injury, unfortunately.
That too, but you could still put it on somebody who's not the 47-year-old quote-unquote COO of the company.
Yeah. Well, he's not quote unquote CO. He is the COO, but
Is he? I thought he had some other different title that's not
he's
COO.
got a few different titles, but they all have a few different titles. But anyway,
The King of Kings. It's on his business card.
Cerebral Assassin.
Yep.
COO. But you just completely blocked what I was about to say.
Well, you were going to make the counterpoint of how much you loved Triple H's main.
I think so.
No, it's completely gone. I completely forgot what I was about to say. Okay.
And hear her say that does it.
There you go.
Yeah, and one more point that there were reports that the decision on who was going over in each match, there were some matches that weren't decided until basically when the kickoff show started at 5:00 Eastern time.
I'd believe that.
So
they did a series of coin tosses.
Seriously, yeah, and so that might explain some of the nonsensical finishes that we got. I gave the match a D+ on Sunday. Looking back now, I think I can upgrade that maybe to a C-.
You said the match, but you meant the show.
The show, yeah. Okay, yeah. So I gave WrestleMania 32 on Sunday in my instant analysis on our Facebook page. I did give it a D+. Looking back now, a couple days past, and having time to absorb the bizarreness of it as a whole, we can upgrade that a little bit to we'll give it a C. We'll give it a C-.
I still say B-, C+, thumbs in the middle.
Yeah,
because the wrestling was good for the most part on the show. The decisions of who went over were sometimes very curious, but the wrestling overall was pretty good. And it is still called WrestleMania as opposed to Entertainment Mania. So I got, still got to give points for the wrestling.
I agree. I'm at the exact same level you are with that.
There you go. See, we're right here. We're right here, Andy. Me and you are like this.
Right there. Yep.
All right. Since still hasn't returned to me what I was going to say, that does it for the rundown for this Tuesday, April 5th, 2016. 276 days since Finn Balor won the NXT Championship. Remember, we will be back tomorrow night, Wednesday, April 6th, to talk about Monday Night Raw and the fallout from that with Jason and maybe Troy. Maybe?
Who's that?
Some guy.
He's just a sexy Troy.
Sexy Troy.
He's not your boy, Troy.
Good. I was hoping you weren't going to try and go Troy Toy, because that's just weird. Go to audibletrial.com/rundown for a free audiobook and a 30-day free trial of Audible. Lucky Pro Wrestling presents Homecoming at the Elks Lodge in Clinton, Massachusetts this Saturday, April the 9th. Go to luckyprowrestling.com for information there. Atlantic Pro Wrestling next Saturday, April 16th in Newbury, Mass. Liberty States, Saturday, April 23rd. John McCarthy Elementary School in Peabody. And I have a show in Old Orchard Beach, Maine on April 30th. But again, still all the information on that.
They wrestle in Maine?
We fight on Saturday nights in Maine, Michael. Follow us on Twitter.
We fight in Kennebunkport, Michael.
Follow us on Twitter at Rundown Podcast. I live tweet Raw. Sometimes I live tweet SmackDown. Live tweet pay-per-view special events. You know. Send feedback. I just realized that I didn't play Sal's WrestleMania voicemail.
Oh shit!
Oh darn! We're already at 2 hours. Let's go.
We'll do that tomorrow. We're not quite at 2 hours. Send your feedback.
We still have another 20 minutes of this to go.
rundownwrestling@gmail.com. Leave us a voicemail like Sal does at 617-863-6967. 61 rundown 7.
Or 6 pun doo-wop.
Or 617 undown Like us on Facebook. Tell your parents and your grandparents to like us on Facebook at facebook.com/rundownwrestling. To make a donation of the monetary variety, go to rundown.podomatic.com and click the PayPal donate button on the right-hand side of the screen. Watch archived episodes at youtube.com/rundownpodcast and circle me on Google Plus at google.com/+AdamRundownHost. Feeling constipated? Free yourself up at tinyurl.com/distant horizons. Chasing distant horizons, it's poetry for your asshole.
Yeah, it takes one on that one.
Could I just ask where that, what the origin of that plug was?
If you go to Amazon.com and read the reviews, there is one left by someone who I don't remember what name it's under. But yeah.
Pretty sure it rhymes with boy and toy.
Ah.
I wasn't sure. I just wasn't sure if he used his real name or not. Either way, it's related to an Amazon.com review.
Roger that.
Sister podcast, something called Shadowbane.
The Shadowbane podcast, shadowbane.net. Yes, we have finally finished up Progenics Labs. We've only been promising it since like January.
I died.
You did. Spoiler.
I didn't even get a death. I didn't even get a death scene though.
You didn't even get a Wilhelm scream. I mean, it was terrible. So
I was sad that you didn't do that. You didn't take my advice.
I should have. I totally should have. Shadowbane.net. We were trying to release an episode this weekend. Did not quite get around to it. The episode is almost ready to go. I have to finish putting the stuff together. Sometime this week we'll have another classic tale. Always check that out.
The Linda McMahon episode?
This is not the Linda McMahon. That's still in production.
Okay.
We're kind of pre-production.
And how can they support that?
They can go to patreon.com/shadowvane. We'd appreciate your support. The show is a lot of work and takes a lot of time, and we love doing it. But if you want to show your support, we'd really appreciate it.
Very true. Very true. Pen15 Club being overhauled. We'll update when we have updates on that. Tuning Japanese.
At tuningjapanese.com. Myself and Bill and Josh, you remember Josh, we talk about Japanese anime. And we're currently reviewing Excel Saga. And we just found out today that at Anime Iowa, which is the largest anime convention in Iowa, the director of Excel Saga will be there.
Whoa.
And we were stoked.
Are you sure that's not the only anime convention in Iowa?
Well, no, there's also one. There's a few others, but they suck.
Can you get that guy for an exclusive interview on the podcast?
I really am going to try. I don't know how much English he speaks, though. Hopefully enough. We're gonna see what we can do and see if we can bring our recording equipment and get
see if you can get Funaki. Just see if you can get Funaki to come, and then he'll be your interpreter.
Nice, that'd be great. He was on the Spanish Spanish.
Yes,
he was on
the Spanish announce team.
Yeah, he was on the Japanese announce team.
Oh,
there were 7,000 announce teams that night.
I really enjoyed that, seeing Funaki on the Japanese announce team.
He was the number one Spanish announcer.
He was.
Yes, and then of course, check me out on the most recent episode of the Raw Attitude podcast featuring Raccoon, your good friend, Henry Hugeplex, the suplex-throwing human duplex.
Great show. Fantastic show.
Yeah, I do believe I was also on that at one point, so you should check that out as well. It was those times.
Yeah, but I was on this week, so that makes it more important.
Well, I was on earlier, which means that I was actually the first actual guest, which means...
That's true.
That just means that Henry thinks I'm better than you are on the show.
Apparently so. Mm-hmm. And I will say, Andy, just listening to Henry's episodes, I think you got the best episode of Raw to watch thus far on the timeline.
It was a fun one. It was a fun one.
It was definitely the best of the bunch thus far, that's for sure.
I agree.
Not in terms of the actual episode of the show, although it was very good. I can't pick favorites on episodes, but in terms... Oh, God, my bow tie. Oh, come on!
That lasted a lot longer this time.
I had almost made it to the end.
It lasted like 3 minutes.
God damn it, I had made it so close.
You had to climb out of the trash can.
Son of a bitch bastard.
Anyway. I don't know. I had an episode of Raw that didn't feature the heavyweight champion or the main stable at all. So
that's true.
Did it have the revival, the NWA on it still?
Yeah.
Oh, it did.
Oh, yeah.
Fantastic.
Let's see. The Rock and Roll Express. Yes!
Spoiler alert for episode 10, you get not 1, not 2, but 3 NWA matches.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Did everyone else have the flu?
And 16 disqualifications.
Yes. You get 3 NWA matches and no Steve Austin and no DX. So enjoy that.
Yay.
Or sorry, DX is in a pre-tape segment for like a second or two, but yeah.
So those are all the podcasts on the Beefcase Network. Check that out.
I fucking hate you. Not called that. Calling you right now. Not called that.
I'm interested to see what the actual name will end up being.
Hopefully it won't have an acronym like the Raw Attitude Podcast Enthusiasts.
Yes. Well, you got to give names to your fans somehow.
You do. It's true.
All right. Search for us on iTunes under the Rundown Wrestling Podcast. If you subscribe, you get the podcast delivered to you absolutely free each and every week for $0.00.
Oh, and you are now gone.
I am. That's on purpose.
Oh, okay.
Big reveal coming up.
Not really. Just
he's going to be naked when he comes back up.
Yeah, I completely lost my place there.
It's because you're getting undressed right now. It's
Yes.
hard to narrate when you're getting undressed.
Podcast is absolutely free. If you subscribe, you get the podcast over to you absolutely free each and every week for $0.00. If you cannot afford a monetary donation, leave a 5-star review because that helps other people find us.
He's back.
If you leave
And I think, fans, we just saw Adam's bell end. We can see it right now.
No, I'm just bald.
Okay.
If you leave a text review, we'll read your name and your text review at the end of a future episode. If you
Lies, because no one leaves feedback.
If you haven't left a review in a while, leave another one because apparently it still helps.
Yeah, leave one for the Raw Attitude podcast while you're at it.
Yes, do that as well.
Make it 5 stars.
And for Tuning Japanese and for Shadowvane.
Absolutely.
No.
And
not
15.
for 15 because that's not
okay.
fun. That's had exactly the same number of episodes as Soupcast. I still stand to that. If we don't consider Soupcast a podcast, we're not going to consider that a podcast.
Okay, but you don't have to be such a dick about it. Also available on Stitcher, Stitcher.com, or the Stitcher app on your iOS or Android device. Thanks to Tegan Brown for the logo. Thanks to everyone for listening. Thanks to nobody on the side. Thanks to...
It is true.
Thanks to Andy.
Yep, you're welcome.
Thanks to Raccoon Reigns.
You got it.
Nice. And thanks to iFightDragons at ifightdragons.com.
Will Tegan Brown do a logo for the Raw Attitude podcast if Henry Hugebex wants her to?
You would have to ask.
All right, then.
Or Henry would have to ask. One of you would have to ask.
Okay, all right.
Just you talk to Sean talk to Henry, and we'll get this all figured out.
Yeah, we're all pretty tight.
Somebody will talk to Tegan. She can probably do something. Yeah, I already said thanks to iFightDragons. So, tomorrow night!
Fuck this episode. Watch tomorrow's episode.
I mean, the two guys that are basically, the co-hosts that have been here the longest. I mean, fuck those guys. I mean, they're not important. Let's just talk about tomorrow night. His eyes are so large.
How badly does your butt hurt right now, Andrew?
Oh, man, I'm so butthurt. Man, you know how much that makes me feel upset? We're going to be upstaged the next night when Shadowvane only got, 3,000 downloads this last month. 3,200 downloads this last month alone, man.
Wow.
How am I going to live not being on the podcast another night that gets like 5?
Is that for real?
No, seriously. We had over 3,000 downloads in the month of March.
Holy crap.
So that's not last night.
What?
Dick. Anyway.
Last month. I said last month.
I think you said last night.
No. Last month.
Go back.
No, last night we had 100 and something. Sorry, go ahead.
Nice.
Tomorrow night, I'll be joined by 2 different hosts to talk about
the NWO.
They're over there. They're over there on the side. Go away. It's not time. It's not tomorrow. Get back in your cage.
Don't ask.
It's the
Tomorrow
NWO B team.
Is your wife like breastfeeding? Is that why you had to cover things up?
Tomorrow night, we'll be joined by Jason and maybe Troy to talk about Monday Night Raw.
Turn down the audio back there. Turn it down.
Last night's episode of Monday Night Raw, and etc.
Oh, it's the second appearance of Adam Skid.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, I have lost control. Lost control.
WrestleMania wasn't a fan.
So tune in tomorrow night for 241 Part 2. Because the only other option was to have 5 people on this show, and it would have lasted for 6 hours.
It would have, and we already know that didn't work. We learned that this weekend.
I would have liked to have seen that, actually. 5-man pod.
Yeah.
4-man, 1 raccoon pod.
I want to say we did it once before, where we were at like 4 or 5 co-hosts.
We definitely had at least.
Hell.
Yeah, it was like looking at the Brady Bunch screen.
Yeah. Well, it's like looking at each other,
Exactly. Yeah.
So with that,
there was a maid in there somehow.
That was Josh.
Oh, okay.
And James.
You said it, not me.
So as always, Jacob, good night and good luck. Fawn, Don,
go to shadowvane.net, tuningjapanese.com, and this rundown thing doesn't have a website, but you can find it places. Go to the Raw Attitude Podcast.
There you go. Episode 7 with Andy, episode 9 with Adam. I'm hoping Henry Hugebeck asks me to be on the show at some point, too.
I anxiously await that episode.
I want book that. Fantasy booking. Book that right now.
It's going to happen.
All right. So, I guess that does it. We'll talk to y'all tomorrow night.
Yeah.
Bye, people.
Bye.
I left better things in my diaper than the WrestleMania main event.
Oh, wow. Very opinionated tonight he is. Yeah.
We got so off track at the end there. Jesus Christ.
All right. Let's get rid of some background noise. You're probably going to get my husband's music in the background. I apologize. I texted him and said, hey, can you turn your music down in your room? I'm getting pickup of your music, but...
Oh, what was he listening to?
There's some rock and roll. So
that is why I have to have my Yeti on the mic stand right here next to my face, because if I try to use the headless dude that he came with, and I have to turn the gain all the way up, I get every background noise in the house.
Wait a second, I can hear what he's listening to. Welcome to my house. Oh wait, I should probably stop recording. Hold on a second.
I don't know why this is happening.
There's a brush on it. It's amazing.
Oh shit, I wasn't recording.
We'll just pipe in
I have to put this
just
together.
random raccoon noises, like wild raccoons.
Lots of chittering.
We'll just every time you're actually talking, we're not talking. We'll just put chittering noises.
There you go. What rundown number is this again?
140. No. 241. 141. How many have there been? 241. 241A.
This is 241, part 1. Yes.
Okay.
All right. 241. In that case.
It's dark over there. I bet it's sexy time at the Salzer household.
Hey.
And naked.
Yeah.
What?
You can sit out here with your computer and your internet friends.
Oh, that's why the screen has gone dark? I guess that makes sense then.
She had to do some stuff in the room, and she ain't gotten the closing.
Well, in that case,
yoga when you're undressed is. I hear you burn more calories.
Hot yoga.
That's hot yoga. That's what makes it hot. There's a lack of clothes.
No, would have gotten us kicked off of YouTube.
It's Bikram.
No, that's the yoga.
I think it'll only get you kicked off if someone reports it, so you could roll the dice and put some cock on there.
You could.
It might be worth it.
Put a little
55% Bernie Sanders.
cock on it.
By the way.
What was that for Bernie?
55%.
He got 55% of the votes, or
So far.
Bernie wins Wisconsin.
and Ted Cruz wins Wisconsin?
And Ted Cruz wins. Yeah, he's got 51% of the Republican vote, and Donald Trump has 32, and John Kasich has 14.
God, I want Trump to win so bad. Because no, because number one, I can't stand Ted Cruz's face, but number two,
Well,
there's no
Ted
way
Cruz is-
Trump wins the general election. So
No.
that's why. Yeah.
I fucking hope not.
This is bonus content, so people right now who are watching now know our political affiliations.
There you go.
Uh,
Bernie Sanders, longtime friend of our show.
That's right. Bernie Sanders made a call into the rundown one
He
time.
left us a voicemail that one time.
Did you ever actually listen to Bernie Sanders'
No,
voicemail?
I still missed that.
Oh, you should go back and check that out.
I don't know what episode it is.
It was right before the Iowa caucus.
Okay.
So January?
It's like January. Yeah.
Something like that.
See,
I'm
rundown.
guessing. I don't know. I'm just guessing.
Bye,
241.
bye YouTube.